I'm Chinsi. I'm actually from Oxford University Press. I'm based in Malaysia. So we are very happy to have Marianna Magdalena with us today, who will be going through our resources that we have. I believe most of the teachers that we have today are currently using our resources. So we would like to just work with you to see how we can use these resources better. So what we have is, I'll just start off with a little introduction. So I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So today's session is actually called Greater Depth to Help Learners Excel. So I think this is very specific to teachers who have adopted our Excel in for primary science. So just like the title, we would really love to see how we can help our learners excel, particularly in this period where we will not be able to be in the classroom, but yet we would still see how we can help teachers work together with the students through online learning. So before we begin, so there are just some general housekeeping rules. At the end of the session, you will be issued with an e-certificate, and this will be sent to your email, which you have used to register via Zoom within 3 working days. And this session is actually being recorded, and which we will be sharing the recorded sessions to other teachers who are also keen to work with our resources as well. Okay, so there will be Q&A sessions, questions. So if you have any questions, there is actually a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So post your questions to our speaker via the Q&A box. So you will also realize that midway through the sessions, we will be launching some questions via the poll. So take some time to just put in your answers to the polls. There is also a chat function here, so just feel free to put in your chats, your views, to share your views, to share some of the your thoughts on this. But questions, we would recommend that you go back to the Q&A button so that we are able to be sure that we have answered all the questions that's being posed. So just we would like this to be as interactive as possible. So we will, yeah. So just a little introduction of our speakers. So Ibu Marianna has been working with Oxford University Press for the last 3 years. So she has been helping us to conduct many talks, particularly for science-related topics. So whereby she has been talking about how OUP resources, we have introduced a set of resources that are actually aligned to both the Indonesian curriculum as well as the international GCSE curriculum as well. So she is very familiar with both syllabuses as well as how our resources have been able to help the teachers around. So she has been working with us. She has also worked, she has over 20 years of experience teaching primary as well as high school science. And she also has 10 years of experience in training teachers in 26 provinces from Aceh to Papua New Guinea in science content and pedagogy. She's also the reviewer of the 2013 National Indonesian Curriculum. And so I'll pass the time now to Ibu Marianna, who will then take us through the session today. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, over to you, Ibu Marianna.
Okay. Good morning, all of you. Sorry, good afternoon, all of you. Thank you for attending this session. So it's an honor for me to give this webinar about greater depth to help learners excel. So I will start my presentation.
So sorry. So we were saying that for everyone who's here, so if you have any questions, please feel free to just type it in Bahasa Indonesia or English. So in fact, Ibu Marianna will be switching between the 2 languages as well. So I think for most of you, you will be able to really enjoy this session. We really hope that there's some takeaway from you. So feel free to use whatever language that you feel most comfortable with. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I will present now, yeah, for you. Okay. Our team is created that to help learners excel. Yeah, this is the topic. So what should we do in this session? We will learn about scientific inquiry, also graphics organizer to organize concepts or ideas, how to use graphics organizer in your lesson, hands-on and practical activities, and multimedia digital tools to enhance learning. So it's about using the resources, exploring the resources. So this is the online classroom. Yeah. Okay. Now, what is learning? Chinese proverbs say that learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. So this is very important. Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. So when the student learn, they have the treasure that will follow their life everywhere. So pandemic is actually a great opportunity to do better in learning. So Thomas Alva Edison said that we often miss opportunity because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. So we have to make use of this opportunity during pandemic also for the students. So don't miss the opportunity during pandemic. We can do a lot of things to improve the education, to enhance the students' learning. So technology helps to enhance learning. Why is a great opportunity? Because technology helps to enhance learning, and also makes learning more personalized. And then now the students have more time to seek and process the information and knowledge. So we hope that during this distant learning, students can be more creative and think critically. And it depends on how you manage your lesson or how you manage your class. So this is about self-directed learning. Self-directed learning means students take responsibility for their learning process. Yeah. Boyer et al. Said that students determine their own learning goals, select resources to achieve these goals, choose their preferred learning strategies, and reflect on the outcome of the learning process. Probably the idea about self-directed learning from Boyer et al. Is quite difficult or challenging, but we can make the students take responsibility for their learning process. In other words, they want to, they get to be curious and seek the information or knowledge to have deeper and broader understanding. So during this pandemic time, we hope that students become more self-directed in learning. And this is from PISA 2018. What is the purpose of learning science? Science is the ability to engage with science issues and with the ideas of science as a reflective citizen. A scientifically literate person is willing to engage in reasoned discourse about science and technology, which requires the competencies to explain phenomena scientifically, evaluate and design scientific inquiry, and interpret data and evidence scientifically. So learning science is just not about having knowledge about science, but it's more than that. how to use science in their daily life, how to apply science in their daily life. So don't forget about science process skills and 4C that should be in your lesson or in your class, in your online class. You should implement these things in your class or in your lesson. Yeah, science process skills and 4C. It's challenging, of course, because we are in distant learning now. Okay, this is pandemic, and the picture was taken from UNICEF. Yeah, you see that a child wears a mask, a face mask. Yeah, so we know that in this pandemic time, people, or let's say scientists, are trying hard to find vaccine because that will help us to overcome this disease. It's spread all over the world. It's really a big problem for us, pandemic, a big issue for us, pandemic. So then we can see what science can do in this pandemic. Of course, a lot of, because talking about making vaccines, of course, that is about science. But let's see how science can be applied in this pandemic time about wearing a mask. Yeah. Okay, this is from Business Insider. It said that the effect is greatest when 100% of the public wear face masks. Growing body of research shows the role of face coverings in curbing the spread of the coronavirus. And just by asking the people to wear face masks, we can also show them simple investigation how wearing masks can reduce the spread of virus. So it's very simple actually. So this is from a video, yeah, from KHQ teams, yeah. But I don't show the video, but probably you can search it in Google, yeah. How this team want to show that a mask is very effective to reduce the spread of virus, yeah. How is the investigation? This man needs to talk, to sing, to cough, and to sneeze. And then there are two things. When one occasion is he talks with a mask, and then another is he talks without wearing a mask. So these things should be compared. When you talk, when you sing, when you cough and sneeze, there will be a big difference if you are wearing the mask or if you are not wearing the mask. Yeah, this is actually the investigation. Okay, and then after 24 hours, the scientists compare the number of bacteria represented by the yellow dots here, yeah, and then you can compare it. When the man coughs without mask, then this is the result of this investigation. And this is the result of wearing the mask. So this is for coughing, and the other is for sneezing. Yeah, you see? And then also from these two pictures, we can compare that coughing is less, has less bacteria than sneezing. So sneezing is the action that can spread virus more, yeah? So this is without, this is wearing a mask. You can see almost no bacteria, because the droplets from the mouth can contain bacteria and virus, yeah? So if we implement that investigation in the scientific inquiry, so this is in your book, These are the steps in doing scientific inquiry. Probably you have already heard this, or probably you have already implemented in your classroom. I usually present this to the teachers when I teach science. Yeah. So the question is, does wearing a mask reduce virus spread? This is the question. Start here asking the question. That's the question from that investigation. And then predicts what will happen. So the scientists predict that wearing a mask reduces virus spread. Then planning the investigation, things that change and things that keep the same. Things that change is, on one occasion, the man is wearing a mask, but the other occasion, the man is not wearing a mask. What things that keep the same? Let's say cough, the man did the same action, that is coughing, and at the same distance from the dish, yeah, from the laboratory dish that contain the substance, to see the bacteria that come out from the mouth. Yeah, that's to keep the things the same. And then making observations, things to observe or measure is, of course, number of droplets. In this case is the number of the bacteria. Yeah. Then record the results, then make sense of the results. When you make sense of the results, when the students make sense of the results, it can lead to another new questions. Yeah. And then also you can ask, was the prediction correct or not? Yeah. So this is very simple scientific inquiry, but actually plays an important role in learning science. So you need to implement scientific inquiry in your lesson, because that's the way to solve the problems. Wearing a mask is simple, and it can be proved by simple investigation that wearing a mask can reduce the virus spread. So we see that science plays a very important role in the society. Yeah. Okay, so scientific inquiry is an approach, is a model to solve the problems. So start with the question. Yeah. So another investigation is, why do we need social distance? Yeah. And then also the scientists did the experiment again, did the investigation. Yeah. They stand from different distances. Yeah. So this man stands from different distances. Can you see 4 feet away, 2 feet away, and 6 feet away? And we see as the distance is getting bigger, then the bacteria is reduced. So two simple things, wearing mask and social distance, can be investigated in simple ways. So this is the role of science. Yeah. See, then you can make, from this investigation, you can make this scientific inquiry, start with the questions. So what will be the question here? What will be the prediction? How do you plan the investigation? How things that change and things that keep the same. Make the observation, record the results, make sense of the result. So what do you think will be the question here? By looking at these pictures. Yeah, think about it. Okay. The question is, does social distance reduce the virus spread? It's very easy, right? Predict what will happen as the distance gets bigger, the virus spreads will be less. And then how do you plan the investigation? What do you change? You change the distance, right? What do you keep the same? You keep the same is the man that wears a mask and does not wear a mask. Yeah, but in this case, distance is changing. So you see, as the distance is changing, the number of bacteria will be reduced. And then you make observation by looking at these dishes. And you record the results, make sense of the results, and so on. So these are simple investigation. Okay, so how to determine science inquiry? This is very important question. What are the characteristics of the science inquiry? In science inquiry, there are always things that keep the same, things that change, and things that need to be observed or measured. We call this as variable. Yeah, all these things we call that as variable. Okay. So let's look at our resources. So we can differentiate or distinguish, do these activities belong to science inquiry or not? And if not, how do you change it into science inquiry? Yeah. So let's say this one, yeah, exercise 10. This is from the workbook, designing wind generator blades. How does the shape of blades affect the wind energy caused by a generator? Okay, do you think this is a scientific or science inquiry or not? Okay, let's look at these steps, yeah. If you look at this organizer, graphic organizer, you will see that this will be a science inquiry. Why? Because here, what I am going to change, what am I going to keep the same. Yeah. So this is an example from grade 4, designing wind generator blades. So the knowledge of science is applied, yeah, because we know the wind generated now play an important role in the electricity. How to generate electricity using wind power. And then to make the devices, one of the important is the wind generator blade. How to catch more wind energy depends on the blades. Yeah. So this one, which ice cube melts the fastest? Yeah, which one? You see, tap water, ice cubes, cold water, ice cube, hot water, ice cubes. What do you think? Is this science inquiry or not? This is from the workbook as well. So there is a lot of science inquiry activities in the resources. So you will see which one melt the fastest. Yeah. And what is about, what the students want to know by doing the science inquiry. Yeah. How do they make the question? And how do they solve the problem? By answer the questions through the experiment. And do sweet drinks damage our teeth? Another interesting investigation. As you see here, it has cup with soda and the other cup with just water. So the students want to know whether sweet drinks damage the teeth or not. Yeah, so it's about science inquiry. How can oil spills be cleaned up? Yeah, here, this is from grade 4. Yeah, very simple investigation. And then this one that you can do to clean the oil spills. Yeah, okay. And this is how do growing roots respond to the moisture. Yeah, science inquiry. And then for making a stethoscope, do you think that this is a science inquiry? So if this is not a science inquiry, how do you change it into a science inquiry? So remember, in order to make science inquiry, you always have to get three things that you keep the same, things that you change, and things that you measure or observe. Yeah, and then also you should have a question first. You start with a question. So if making a stethoscope, this is not a science inquiry. Yeah, you just make a stethoscope, but you can make it into a science inquiry. Let's say how to make the stethoscope with the loudest sound. Let's say that's your question. What things that need to change, what things keep the same, and what things that you measure or observe. So science inquiry should be a habit of learning science. So especially in this pandemic time where we are not, we are not restricted to do this and this. So regarding about the base competencies, you don't need to cover all these competencies because we know this is a special time. Yeah. Then by asking the students to do inquiry, you can ask them change this activity into inquiry. That's another work for the students to make them creative and think critically. Yeah. So better you do a lot of critical thinking and creative activities for the students. Yeah. Okay. And then looking at rock samples. Is this a science inquiry? If not, how do you change it into science inquiry? That is a challenge for the students. Yeah. So it's not just we give the student tasks, reading from this book and then answer the question. Not like that, but we have to make them think, to do something. Yeah, that's the point. To do meaningful lesson. So your lesson should be meaningful. This is a big opportunity to make your lesson meaningful for them. Yeah, because you don't need to cover all the competencies. Ya, the KD, kompetensi dasar ya. Okay, then don't forget to make the rubrics of doing science inquiry. It's about the idea, it's about the content, the steps, and the conclusion. Yeah, that's about science inquiry. And then this is for Albert Einstein. Curiosity leads to science discovery. The world has a lot of problems. And then we need to answer the problems, to solve the problems. And that's the role of science. Yeah. Any question, Ms. Chimse? Is there any question or should I continue with my presentation?
There is no question yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can continue. So I'll come in when there's any question.
Okay.
So if you have any question, please feel free to write in the Q&A box.
Yeah.
Yes, and Ibu Marianna will be able to answer them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. This is from Albert Einstein. He said that he has no special talents, but I'm only passionately curious. Curiosity is the key of learning science. The students need to have curiosity. Once they have the curiosity, they can explore many things. So make sure that during this pandemic time, the teachers have great opportunities to immerse the curiosity. Okay. But one thing that we should be aware is doing science at home. So they need to stay at home. Yeah, no need to go out just for buying some items to do the investigation. No, that's not suggested at all. Do whatever you have at home. That's we suggest to our student. So you just use the items at home to do the investigation. So if the items are not available, then just plan the investigation. Planning the investigation without conducting it, because it's hard to find the item. But the students can be more creative, yeah, if they can make use of the items at home and make something new. Yeah, that's a challenge also for the teacher to encourage the students to be creative with the items that they have at home. Okay, why do they need some physical activities? Because there should be a balance between screen time and physical activities. And doing science inquiry is also involving physical activities, yeah, can involve physical activities. So make sure that in your lesson, students do not just only looking at the screen all the time, yeah, but also need physical activities. And learning science can involve many physical activities. Okay. Now, the first one is implementing science inquiry. Now, using graphic organizers, yeah, the expert said that graphic organizers can help students understand their own thinking, processes, concepts, or tests. Yeah. Okay, let's look how we can use the graphic organizers. First, this is also taken from the source, yeah, from worksheet. This is grade 4, a habitat survey. So you can ask the students to do science research or survey. Yeah, in this case, it's about the habitat. So it means that they can, when they have to do the survey or research, yeah, they can do it at home. Let's say the habitat is their garden, or they can browse it from internet. Yeah, but this is the graphic organizer. Yeah, the way they organize the idea. Yeah, you can do this. This is from the worksheet. Yeah, if you think that I want to have more questions, then you can modify this template. Yeah, you can modify the template, or probably this template has more questions. I want to make it less. Then you can modify it as well. So what we show you is the resources can inspire you to modify, to adapt it with your lesson, with your level. But this is the idea. Yeah, doing science research or survey is a way to help the students learn science in the meaningful way. Yeah, and then also Venn diagram. You can use Venn diagram, finding similarities and differences of two things. It's very powerful using Venn diagram. So instead you ask them, what is the difference between fibrous root and taproot? You can ask them, please use Venn diagram to contrast or compare two different things. Yeah, Venn diagram. This is a graphic organizer. And then also you can ask the student to make the concept map. You can use Jamboard. Yeah, here, Jamboard. Yeah, you can use the Jamboard. Yeah, it's from Google. Yeah, here. Yeah, you can use it. This is from Google. Yeah, Jamboard. So this is can be interactive. Yeah, because the students can write down their idea and put it in the whiteboard, on the whiteboard, yeah, every idea. And then by have a class discussion online, you can arrange the concepts in the concept map. And then also you can make another graphic organizer by comparing observation and inference. Observation is different than inference. Yeah, observation is different than inference. You can put this thing in your lesson as well. So the lesson is more meaningful. Yeah, it's not just memorizing the books, the knowledge. No. Yeah. Then this is very simple. Ask questions and answer questions. Hopefully there will be more questions during the online class. Yeah, more questions that you give to your students. Ask questions and answer questions. Okay, and then KWL chart, before and after class. Before the class, you ask students to write down what they know about certain knowledge or concept. Let's say human body, what they know about circulatory system, they put it here. What they want to learn means they put the question here, put the questions here. And what they have learned, it's after the class. Okay, so these two things, it's before the class, yeah, before the class of a topic. But here, during and after class. So during and after class, through the discussion and explanation from the teachers, the students write something that they have already learned. And then also you can check, are all the questions already answered or not? Or probably you cannot answer certain questions for this time because it is out of the topic, or because it needs deeper and broader understanding. Yeah. Okay. This is about KWL chart. And then also you can use graphs and charts. Yeah. By using Excel, let's say Excel, yeah, by having Excel, using Excel, the students can make graphs and charts, yeah. Then this is actually taken, this was taken from grade 4 about the energy. I think this is from the workbook, yeah, from the workbook. Okay, there is question, let me, okay. Okay. Thank you for the question. Yeah, we will practice that. Yeah. Okay, we will practice about KWL. Yeah. This is use graphs and charts. I have another question. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Now. Okay. Okay. The third is about hands-on practical activities. Yeah. So the students need to do physical activities, and they are, besides science inquiry, of course, also hands-on and practical activities. And this is very simple. This is taken from the workbook. They absolutely can do it at home, because what they need is just a piece of paper and then how to make it stand up on a desk. Yeah, this is an example of a hand-on activity. And also you can change this activity into science inquiry. Yeah, if you go through this workbook. Yeah. Okay, this is from grade 1. Yeah, can you sort this object into the correct groups? Yeah, they can absolutely do this at home. Yeah, because there are so many objects around them. Yeah. Okay. Now, how do we use all these things into our lesson? Yeah, Actually, the resources are based on learning model 5E. So in the books, actually start always with engage, yeah, with activities that provoke curiosity and enthusiasm, usually by having images or pictures, yeah. So the books itself is already like a lesson plan, yeah, it's already like a lesson plan if you follow it, yeah. Then there is an activity explore the knowledge or the information by doing experiments and hands-on activities, and then explain the definitions, concepts, and principles. It's about explain the knowledge, of course, through discussion, yeah. Elaborate the content to develop broader and deeper knowledge by seeking information or applying new skills, and then evaluate the knowledge and skills through assessment. Yeah, so the resources actually cover this learning model 5E. Yeah. Okay, now this is about mapping the curriculum 2013. So the color text mean that the chapters are in the national curriculum. Yeah, so the color chapters are in the national curriculum. So this is a challenge. How do we solve this challenging work? Yeah, because the resources actually a mixture of Cambridge curriculum and national curriculum. Yeah. Okay. So how do we mix this? Okay, this one, and then this is for grade 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, that 4, 5, and 6. You see. Okay, but I want you to look at the details. Let's say grade 1, yeah. You see, living and growing is not in the national curriculum, KD, kompetensi dasar, ya. But you can put healthy diet into the topic when talking about ourselves, yeah. How to take care of yourself, including healthy living. So healthy diet can be part of the chapter 1, ourselves. Yeah. Then how about growing plants? Growing plants, they are not, or animals or natural phenomena, they are not in the national curriculum, but we can put it in the surrounding, yeah, in the introduction to surrounding, me and surrounding, yeah. Introduction to surrounding, and the natural phenomena can be in day and night. How about grade 2? Yeah, living things and their environments. So you can put it as keep surrounding healthy, because in grade 2 they learn about surrounding. Yeah, and the same also with grade 3. Let's say forces and movement. Yeah, then forces, part of forces and movement, it's about, you can relate the transportation with forces and movement, and transportation is actually in the technological development. So if we go through the content, we see that one and other support each other and complement each other. Yeah, so it means that we make students learn deeper and broader. Yeah, by having all these chapters, even though they are not in the national curriculum. But the point is to make the students understand deeper and broader. And for grade 4, if you can see this, animal and plants, but in the habitats conserving living things and natural resources, habitats and conserving living things is can be put in animals and plants. And also you have natural resources. Natural resources is a national curriculum content. Then how about skeleton and muscles? We can take the backbones to explain the animals, the vertebrate. So when you teach about animals, because we classify into 2 big groups, vertebrate and invertebrates. So when explaining or when learning about vertebrate animals, that's the opportunity to put the concept of backbones. Yeah, because usually we just say that vertebrates are animals that have backbones. Point, titik, yeah, stop. But you can make it deeper and broader by looking at chapter 3. What is backbone? How do you know the backbone of its animal? And then what is invertebrate? They don't have backbones. So by looking at the pictures, you can the students can differentiate between vertebrate and invertebrate. Yeah. And then how about solids, liquids, and gases? Heating and cooling related to energy, to heat energy. So when the students learn about the energy, then heating and cooling can be put in this chapter, energy sources and transformation. So there is a question. Okay. Do you have any website resources about how to create questions for online tests? Okay. Let me answer. Okay. Then making circuits. Well, this is about electricity. Yeah. But in this chapter, there is an explanation how energy in battery produces current. So then when talking about the electrical energy, then we can put energy of the battery that produces current. Yeah, and then, okay, these colors chapters means in the national curriculum. And let's look at grade 5. Okay, states of matter. State of matter, you said, oh, is it not in the national curriculum? What we can make it related to heat, yeah, in the heat, yeah, and then also water cycle, and then this is properties of material, yeah, and then this is for grade 6, yeah, the grade 6, it's almost exactly as the national curriculum, yeah. Okay, this is how we see the chapters in the resources, how we integrate, how to complement each other. Yeah. Okay. Now, challenges of using resources, I put two main things, two main challenges, yeah, not problems, two main challenges. You can use the other topic as I have shown it to you that if it is not in the national curriculum, then you can make use of that topic as a complement or to enrich the students. Or probably, oh, I have already taught this in previous grade. Probably I have already taught the students about circulatory system, human system in grade 5. But there is another chapter in grade 6. Then we can use this topic as a review in grade 6, even though already covered in the previous grade. So this is the way we deal with the resources. Once again, the point is to make the students understand deeper and broader. Yeah, okay. So I show you this is the application, yeah? Grade 4, parts of plants and their function. This is KD-nya, base competence, yeah? Analyze relationship between the structure and function of body parts of animals and plants. I just put two learning outcomes here, explain the difference in the characters of different plants, explore how the parts of plants are related to their function of this. This is all in your resource, yeah? So let's see. So let's say this is for the synchronous learning, online learning, real-time learning, yeah? Zoom or Google Meet. So this is the book, yeah, you see. This is the book, wait, okay. It starts with what are the parts of plants and their function. So parts are living things. They grow both on land and also in water. Some plants even grow on other plants. Based on this simple sentences, you can develop the lesson. But I keep it first because I want to make you focus first on this part of plants. But this is actually about the habitat. Yeah. Now, what color is common in the plants? Yeah, by looking at the pictures, what color is common? We see that should be green. Yeah, that should be green. And then, well, they know it because from this text, yeah, what do these plants have in common? That is, the color is green, and how are they different? Based on this text, almost all plants have roots, stems, and leaves. Yeah, many plants also produce flower and fruit. Each part of the plant has a function. Plants like mosses and liverworts do not have true root, stems, or leaves. So these sentences are simple, but already the students know that almost all plants have roots, stems, and leaves. And not all of them have flowers and fruit. But then it's about moss and the liverwort. So how do you develop this knowledge, this information to make a discussion? Yeah. Then, because if you just explain everything in the book, then the students will not probably they will not listen too much to you. But if you have new ones, then they will be very curious, because the brain likes novelty. The brains like novelty. The brain likes always new things. Yeah. So then you focus on this picture, because this is moss and a tree. Yeah. And then you ask them, does moss have roots, stems, or leaves? So look at the picture. What does true root mean? True stem or true leaf? That can make students curious to know more about the moss. This is an example of how developing the text in the resources. Yeah. Next. Then you ask them, why do moss live on the tree? What do moss need from the tree? Besides tree, where can moss live? Yeah. Only one page, but you can develop more than one question. It's about the moss. And the students will be very curious to know more about the moss, because the moss, they can see it in their daily life. Yeah. Okay. Then this is still in synchronous learning. And then I still explain in the same page. Yeah. Looks, for only one page, you can make it rich. Yeah, for the students. Let's say now it's about the habitat, because these sentences talk about habitat. Yeah. Then you go to the habitat. There is a part of the chapter 2 habitat tells about the habitat of plants. So then you can ask the students to look at this page, yeah, and then make a connection with the text in this part. Yeah. Okay. That's the idea of how to complement one topic with the other. Yeah. Now you go further, right? Then you can show them the video. You can find so many videos, but before you present it to your students, before presenting to the students, make sure you have to know the content, because not all videos have correct content. Yeah, you really have to look at the content before presenting to the student. You have to look probably 2 or 3 times, yeah, and then get the understanding of that video. And then let's say from this video, this is very short. I think it's only about 4 minutes, yeah, or 3 minutes, yeah, this video. But here there is another new term, aerial plants, right? So we have already terrestrial plants. Plants live on the land. Aquatic plants live in the water. And then what is aerial plants? So it makes the students curious. Is the moss also the aerial plant? Yeah. So by looking at this, the students want to seek to seek and find more information because they are curious to know more. Yeah, this is the way to stimulate the thinking, because teaching is stimulating students' thinking, not to giving all the knowledge. No, it's stimulating the thinking. That's the point for teaching. And then this is about types of plants, yeah, in the desert, forest, and tundra. Oh, they know the characteristics of the plants that live in the desert, forest, and tundra. Even though this is will be learned not in grade 4, but that's fine because they want to make them rich with the knowledge. Yeah, that's okay. This is about visit to botanical garden, and also you can show them the video of a botanical garden. Let's say a field tour, yeah, field trip. Yeah, this is another idea. Yeah, okay. And then see here, you can do it here in synchronous or asynchronous learning. It depends on how much time you have. So by having that discussion and explanation and so on, then you can ask the students to make this. Habitats, what are the examples of plants that live on the land, in the water, and in the other place? Not in the land, not on the water. Let's say on the tree. Yeah. Then students put the examples. So, and then also you can put, if they look at the video about the botanical garden, then you can ask them, so desert, forest, and tundra, what are the examples of the plant and what are their characteristics? So that makes them think. This is just an example of how to apply the resources combined with the technology, and also how to complement each other. Yeah, I mean the topics in the resources. Okay, and then this is for asynchronous learning. Remember that the students need to do physical activity, not just online, yeah, online learning. So they can look at parts of the plants, but you can also modify the exercise, yeah. You can modify. Actually, it's about looking at parts of plants at school, but they do it at home. Yeah, and then you can modify this test. In this test, only on parts of plant, right? But because they are not at home, they have more time. Then you ask them further. You observe the parts of plant and describe them. Let's say the shape of the leaves. Yeah, let's say the color of the flower. So, because this is a physical activity and you develop once again the skill that they need to have. Yeah, so you can modify from the workbook or from the student book, yeah, or eventually from the worksheet. Yeah, okay, here, and this is carrots and radishes are blah blah blah, which plants are edible, which parts of the plants are edible, and then you can ask them to find the others. Yeah, and probably they have to ask their mother about the vegetables. Yeah. Okay. Then now let's say that's one lesson already finished with the plants, right? Now in the synchronous learning, they go further. They learn about the roots. Remember, that's just only one page, and then so many things can be developed from only one page. Yeah. Now let's say to the next page. Yeah, it's about fibrous roots and tap roots. Yeah, let's say probably the second class in this week. Yeah. Now using Venn diagram to distinguish fibrous roots and tap roots. So they just not copy from the books. They just not copy from the books to their notes or to their lembar kerja LKS like that. Yeah. But they have to think, especially if they relate their finding. They relate these roots with their finding from the observation that they made, yeah, that they make about the plants, yeah, when they observe the plants, yeah. So this can be a discussion, yeah, and then they have to work, yeah, because if you ask them, they have to work, they have to make that Venn diagram, yeah, so they cannot do other things besides learning in your classroom, and then you ask them to have their own questions. So what is your question now about the roots? And then the students write down their questions, and then as a class, answer those questions, yeah, about the roots. Okay. Now, and then what about the other topics? The other topics about other parts of plants, let's say stems, leaves, fruit, and flower. Then you can make it as a research, science research. So you say that now you have to do it at home. That science research that I have shown it to you. So about parts of plants, the other parts of plant. So that's probably, let's say, their test at home. Yeah. So by doing that, you make them once again curious to know more about plants. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Almost 1 hour. Yeah. Okay. Should I finish or have a break, Miss Chingse? I'm not finished. I mean, break. Take a rest. Take a
Yeah, I
break.
think let's have a 5 minutes break.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a 5 minutes break, then we'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ibu Marianna, there's some Q&A, so I believe
Yeah.
you've addressed almost everything already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I will answer the questions.
Any of the participant here who has some thoughts that they would like to share, what you can do is you can also raise your hand, and what we will do is we will be able to allow you to just share, speak over the webinar as well. If you would like to, what you can do is you can actually just raise your hand and we will allow you to speak. So currently, Benti has raised her hand. Would you like to share, Benti? Would you want to share, Benti? If anyone here who would like to share, please feel free to just raise your hands and we will be able to let you share your thoughts on what you think on the specific topic. Yeah.
Okay. Can I start?
Yes, please resume.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes. Now, this is about human organ and systems. As we know, this is not in the national curriculum for grade 6, but actually it is in the grade 5 in the national curriculum. Yeah. What we can make it as a review for the students, right? Okay, this is the learning outcomes. Yeah. I show you how to apply all these resources in your class. Okay, you can start with, remember they have already learned about the organ systems in grade 5. So that's much better actually. So you can check their understanding by asking them, yeah. Let's say swimming, what organs that work? Okay, breathing, what organs that work? And so on. Yeah, so they write it here, yeah. Remember, they have already learned about organ system in grade 5, yeah. But we can make it broader and deeper for them. And I think this is very important about the human organ and systems because that is related to their life. Okay. Also, another way is you can, by the first one, you can start with asking activities that need the organs, right? What are the organs that they need to do the activities, yeah? And also you can start with the revision. That's fine. Because revision usually is at the end of the chapter. But you can start with the revision just to check their understanding about organs and organ systems. Yeah, these are the questions that they can answer or go through. Or you can ask them to fill these organs, yeah, in the digestive system. Okay, that's the way to start a revision class. Yeah, to start human organ and organ system, because it's just like, not just like, but some of them are revision from grade 5. But there is another content that has not yet been covered actually in grade 5, yeah. Okay, then you can ask them also to make digestive systems. So you check whether they still get it or not, yeah, by having this diagram, yeah. This is another graphic organizer, yeah. Okay, that's another way to check their understanding. Okay, but you can also give them with one problem. Okay, and actually this is from the textbook, yeah, from the resource from the textbook. What happens when our lungs have a problem? Okay, you can also take this part. This is not at the beginning of the chapter, yeah. This is not the beginning of the chapter, but you can ask them at the beginning of the class about organs and organ systems. Why? Because they have already learned about circulatory system and respiratory system. Yeah, okay. But for this case, I modify it. See, you can modify, yeah. The resources give you the inspiration, but you can modify it according to the situation. So I modify it, yeah. This is because this is about COVID-19, yeah. Okay. This is the normal lung, and this is the lung that is attacked with the virus of SARS virus, yeah, of COVID-19. And then I ask them, or you can ask them, how could coronavirus cause that? So in order to answer this question, they have to think that respiratory system is very closely related to the circulatory system. Yeah. Okay, see, once again, this gives the inspiration. But when your lungs have problem, something will happen. Yeah. But we can modify it according to the circumstance. Yeah. And this is the modification. Yeah. Okay. Then, well, sometimes if we just ask them, how could coronavirus causes that? Then close. Then they have no idea, especially if they probably they have not master, yeah, the systems, respiratory system and circulatory system. Then you ask them, you help them, you guide them by question and question. So why do you breathe? In order to answer this question, you ask them, why do you breathe? What does the lung do? What does the heart do? What does the blood do? So you see, then by having step-by-step questions, probably they can answer and also make their brain remember, yeah, what they have learned in grade 5. But if it's a real situation, then the knowledge will last longer in the brain than only knowledge, yeah. So that's why application, implementation is very important in learning science. By having that, they understand more and they keep it more in their brain. So why do you breathe? What does the lung do? What does the heart do? What does the blood do? Yeah. Of course, if you lack oxygen, then it will affect your circulatory system. Yeah. Okay, this is an example. And then, how do we care for our kidneys? Yeah, how we do care for our kidneys. This is about excretory system. Yeah, and then this is about name of drinks. Yeah, and then they can because this is actually go to your school cafeteria. Yeah, but you can modify it. Browse the drinks that you know, and look at the ingredients and find it is good or not for your health. So you can modify this activity. Yeah. Okay, because kidney is very important for them. So if they do this activity, it's not just a knowledge, but it's for their health. They start to live healthy by consuming healthy food or healthy drink. So we have a purpose of asking this for them. Okay, then this is answering the organ system, yeah. This is let's say for what you call selingan, yeah, intermezzo like that, yeah. So thinking and doing science, yeah, because we want them to be a lifelong learners. How do we use science knowledge, skills, and scientific methods to solve problems? That's the point. Think and do scientifically should be always of solving problems in students' daily life. This is the purpose of learning science. Yeah. Okay. Then this is assessment competency minimum. So there will be no longer national exam. It will be replaced by this AKM, assessment competency minimum. Assessment of minimum competency. What is about? Yeah. What is about? Okay. So the one that highlight, this is from Ministry of Education, yeah, said that as an example is fraction. So the purpose is how they apply fraction in their life, yeah. Because AKM ini, assessment of minimum competency, is about literacy and numeracy. Yeah, literacy and the science is included in the literacy. Yeah. So this is about math, about numeracy, how to apply fraction in daily life. So if the students buy oil, yeah, oil, fat oil with certain mass, yeah, or certain volume with certain price, then if you want to have other weight, say, then what will be the price? Like that, yeah. Okay. Then this is another. This is probably science, yeah. Example of science problem is how do you handle the waste? Yeah, how do you handle the waste so it doesn't pollute the environment? So this is also very simple and close to students' life. Yeah, these are examples of AKM, assessment competency minimum. Okay. But you can, so I show you some examples of the resources that actually based on is similar to the assessment competency minimum, like this, yeah. You have various energy sources of food. The table shows the energy contained per kilogram in 5 different crops, yeah, the energy. And then also draw a bar chart. This is science, right? Science. But a bar chart is about numeracy. Yeah, about numeracy. So in this test, yeah, it's a combination of numeracy and literacy. Because they need to read the data. They have to understand about the data. And then they could make a bar chart. Yeah, and then look at this crop, how much energy is contained in this type of crop. So this is, they have to know what food is this. Yeah, because how much energy is it inside this food? What is the food? So they have to recognize, yeah, different crops. Yeah, because here there are no images, but we put image here. They have to recognize that. Yeah, and then what part of the plant is this? You see, it's related to the part of plant. Yeah, this is only one exercise, but cover many skills. Yeah. Okay. Next, this is about Indonesian energy by use. Yeah, this is energy Indonesian by use. And then what makes Indonesia the largest energy consumed in Southeast Asia? Yeah, this is the data 2000 and 2015. Yeah. And then also, let's say, the largest sector of energy use is in 2000 and 2015 is residential. Yeah. List 10 appliances that use electricity energy in the sector, in the residence, at home. What appliances that people use the most, and then you can ask at your home. Okay, so it's really closely related to their life. It's applicable. So they apply the knowledge, the information on sites into a test. That's a real test. Yeah, this is an example. Okay, another is alternative energy sources in Indonesia. So they are given the map, right? And study and describe its topography. And then what renewable energy sources that you can use in different region, different area, because it has different topography, it has different geographical texture, yeah, like that, yeah. So then let's say for hydropower, to build hydropower plant, what should be the characteristics of the location? They have to think, right? And then for the province, which province that they think suitable for, let's say, hydropower, suitable for wind energy, biomass, or biofuel. So once again, they apply the knowledge of science. Yeah, these are examples of resources that already reflect assessment competency minimum. Okay, I think this is just an example of grade 1, yeah, about materials, yeah. Okay, I will, this is the end of my presentation, Ibu Chingse. So I stop share, then I think I have to ask questions, yeah. Okay.
Ibu Marianna, you have one more questions. One of the user asked, what is the solution problem of the parents' difficulty teach the children at home? So do you have any answers for, I think, parents having to teach the children at home?
Okay. Okay. I think first, if talking about content, then maybe the parents should also read the resources, yeah, know about the resources, yeah. If they have problems with the contents, then they can contact the teachers. I think that's the solution. But it is about psychology, then Well, it depends on the family, yeah, on the type of family. That is my answer, Bu Chingse. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think we are almost
Yeah.
at the end of our session already. So I'll just just want to thank Ibu Mariana for,
Wait, Bu Chingse, I have to
yes,
answer about the K from the question and answer.
yes. So,
KWL chart, yeah? Okay,
okay, yeah,
for KWL chart, K stands for now, what they know before the lesson. So you have to guide them with the questions. Let's say like this, how many types of fruits that do you know? Because this is about parts of plants, yeah? Or you ask them, what is the dominant color of the plants that you see? What is the dominant color of the plant, right? So do all plants have flowers and fruit? So you get with those questions for what they know. So because if just they say what you know, but that's not enough for them. So you have to get them with the questions, and then what they want to know, they put their question there. That's before the class, and then what they have learned, it's during and after the class. Yeah, okay. That's for me. Yeah. Any other question? Is that does this presentation answer your challenges for the participants? Yeah, it's very interesting to learn science. Yeah, yeah. So many
definitely.
things you can explore, you can develop. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. I think we've come to the end of our session. So thank you, Ms. Mariana,
Thank you.
for a very insightful session. So what I'll do is I'll just share a bit of screen, share my screen with everyone, just to remind everyone that indeed today's session will be recorded. And what happens now next is we will have our next session actually. So our next session will actually be on online teaching strategies with Dr. Dicky Susanto and Ibu Marianna Magdalena. So it is actually on the 4th of August. So do look out for the links, and we will be actually sharing the registration details with you once it's open. However, we also understand that there are some requests from teachers who have asked for it to be done on a Saturday. So we are right now trying to see whether if Saturday or a weekday will be a better option. So if you can actually write on the chat box right now to see whether if you have any preference for it to be on a Saturday or continuing it on a weekday. So give us your preference on the Q&A box, and we will take that into consideration once whether if you want to move this session to a Saturday or not. So this session will be combined, whereby it's open to all teachers from primary to secondary for math and science subjects. So it'll be very interesting. We're going to have breakout rooms. We are going to have teachers to be able to share ideas on what you can do, and being moderated by both Dr. Dicky and Ms. Mariana. Okay, so that is the online teaching strategies 1. Then we'll move on to 2. Again, 2, it will be moved on to 2 separate, we will break them up into 4 different groups. They all will be done at different sessions. So we will have one session for primary science, where you will be able to join, where the topics are very specific to how we can teach online more effectively. So we have Benti, who has raised a hand. I'm going to just allow her to share. So I'm not sure whether if she has anything to share. She has raised her hand again, so I'm just opening it up for her to, to share. So if you have, you can just feel free to just say a few words on your thoughts. So that's about it for today. So just a reminder that at the end of this session, there will be a Q&A, there'll be just a survey where you'll be able to put in your response to this today's session, whether if you think that there are some areas where you want to improve. Okay. And we also have more sessions. Okay, so I'll just stop share. And a copy of a certificate will be given to you in the email as well. So you will be able to download it, and that is your e-certificate for you. So I guess that's about it for today. Ibu Marianna, do you have anything else that you would like to share before we go
I
on?
think enough.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.